What's going on, everybody? Safari Sadek here. Oh, man. Well, that pressure's building, ain't it? Trying to tell y'all. And soon there's going to be a release. This is harvest season. Before this season is over with, something will have been harvested. Okay? But I'm going to show you in this lesson what ain't going to be harvested. All right? Let's get in here. I'm going to entitle this PSA, Pressure Cooker Event Imminent. Let's get in here. First precept we're going to go to is Isaiah chapter 10, verses 13 through 14. And this is clarification that I told y'all that the Federal Reserve are going to default on all this loan, all this debt, that the United States owes them. They know the United States has absolutely no intentions or no possible capabilities of at least paying 50% of the interest of all that debt back. So, like how the dope man do after they done, let your ass get good and fat and high and everything. All right, time to collect. That's what this is all about. So this right here is what's going to trigger all the other events we're going to cover. Chain reaction. For he said, by the strength of my hand, I have done it, and by my wisdom, for I am prudent, which means extremely wise, and I have removed the bounds of the people and have robbed their treasures, and I have put down the inhabitants like a valiant man. And my hand had found as a nest of the riches of the people, and as one gathering eggs that are left, have I gathered all the earth, and there was none that moved the wing or opened the mouth or peeped. This is Isaiah chapter 10, verses 13 through 14. That's what the Federal Reserve, they started it this year, tax season. From what I understand, this tax season was no damn joke. Period. And so now, at the end of this month, this federal government goes to submit their 2025 budget, and a whole lot of departments are going to get hit. And this is the main one, the Department of Treasury. Fed said, we're going to get ours and then we out. Y'all do what the hell y'all want to do. All right? So let's switch gears and let's start getting in this thing. Let's look at Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 16. Cut off the sword from Babylon, and him that handleth the sickle in the time of harvest. For the fear of the oppressing sword, they shall turn everyone to his people, and they shall flee everyone to his own land. That's Jeremiah chapter 50, verses 16. And this is the Jubilee. This is a Jubilee in a nutshell. This one verse right here. Well, that's where Babylon is this year. This year ushering in the age of Aquarius, plus it being a karmic year as well. Oh, yeah. Let's see. The Federal Reserve and the other elites and oligarchy and aristocracy, they all know this shit too. So they're already planned decades in ahead, in advance of anything that we are privy to. But the Most High gave me these downloads, I'm going to put them out there for whoever it is that is meant to hear it. So there ain't going to be no harvest season of food this year, not like how you think it is. Oh, sure ain't. Now let's collaborate Jeremiah 51 and Jeremiah 50 and 16, of 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 13. They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fail through the blasting, which is like extremely, extended periods of extremely dry, hot heat, like how out here in the Southwest. And hail, and watch this last part, and with a fearful constellation. This Federal Reserve and these elites and the rest of these folks are watching these constellations, and they see one that's just aligned that's more fearful than any of the rest that they've seen this year. And so swift action will be taken at the end of this month. Well, actually, it's going to start a trickle-down effect whenever they come out in about a week or a few days about this interest rate deal. It don't matter which way they go. I'm going to show you with these precepts how it's already prophetically predetermined to go. All right, so we got a lot of people exiting out of here, the second exodus, going back to their native homelands. No sowing. Well, they could have sown crops. I'm sure they did. They ain't going to reap none of it. Not enough to feed all the people in this country. Plus guests too? No. I'm going to show y'all. All right, let's switch up. This is what's going on. After they hit them treasuries up, since the United States don't want to pay that money back and they know the United States can't pay, okay, now they're getting the goon squad ready. All right, let's look at Joel chapter 3, verses 9 through 10. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. That's Joel chapter 3, verses 9 through 10. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Plowshares and pruning hooks are implements used to facilitate agriculture. So if you're going to take your agricultural implements and convert them into weapons of war, what about agriculture? Well, what did it say right here? Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 16, cut off the sword from Babylon and him that handleth the sickle in the time of harvest, which we are in now. They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fail through the blasting in hell and with a fearful constellation. See, y'all don't know, but these elites know that this Pluto going in retrograde out of Aquarius back into Capricorn, they know their ass is finna go through some things. All right? They know this. See my previous video. I'm kind of putting the cart before the horse, going in reverse chronological order as I do these videos, as been guided by the Holy Spirit. But yeah, they get ready to hit the Treasury Department. They ain't giving no money to the Agricultural Department. They're putting that shit into the Department of Defense. They want a war. They want the United States to go out with a bang. But they get all these other countries ready. Getting them ready. But all this shit that the United States is behind. So they ready. Now we got to get the United States ready. They're gonna put them boys on that ass because they ain't getting their money. Let's look at Ezekiel chapter 16, verse 27. Behold, therefore I have stretched out my hand over thee and have diminished thine ordinary food. Damn. And delivered thee unto the will of them that hate thee. This shit here get ready to start happening as these elites and all these other folks start, abandoning this so-called American dream, and the Fed get their money or what they want. And now everybody bail out. Hey, it's going to be everybody else for themselves. Okay? That's the reality that we're coming up on. These people get ready to pull out of America so that this bitch can crash and burn, so that the 10 horns can finally get their hour of power with the beast. So the people that run this camp don't want to let it go. So their hand is going to be forced supernaturally to let this shit go, so that the remnant and the chosen can get the hell up out of here and take it over, to where we need to be after the appropriate judgments have been cast on those areas over there. All right. So after these elites and everything, after they pull out, they pull all their energy and resources and everything back and have diminished thine ordinary food. This is going to start the chain reaction to everything else that's going to happen as a consequence. Let's move on. Let's look at Ezekiel chapter 4, verses 16 through 17. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, behold, I will break the staff of bread in Jerusalem. Now, whenever you hear that term right there, break the staff in the state, that's simply put public assistance of all kinds. Department of Housing and Health, and I think Department of Health and Human Services, and the Department of Housing and Urban Development. Oh yeah, they finna get hit too, big time. Section 8 and SNAP and all of that shit. It ain't gonna be like it has been up to this point. There's nothing to even have a meeting about. Not this year. That's why I showed y'all that illustration that I showed you. That pressure's building, boy. I'm telling you, that vow about to pop. So when the public assistance is cut in this place, they shall eat bread by weight, and with care, and they shall drink water by measure and with astonishment, that they may want bread and water, and be astonished one with another, and consume away for their iniquity. That's Ezekiel chapter 4, verses 16 through 17. And I'm going to show you how we're already here right now. The microcosms that have been going on in the background to get us to where we are right here, right now, have been going on for well over several hundred years. I'm going to show y'all. But this is our immediate future right here. After the next event, it's going to trigger this, and it's just going to start a trickle effect. All right, let's shift gears and keep going. Now, this is how these people have orchestrated all this in the background and achieved what they have achieved and will very soon achieve. And they went right back into the scriptures that y'all casted aside because they conditioned you with religion to cast all that aside so that they can control you. This is the game. I'll give you the precept when I get to the bottom of Genesis 47. And there was no bread in all the land. See, this is where we're about at now. They're killing off all the livestock and chicken and poultry and, trying to prevent this disease and that disease. No, it's all been done per Jeremiah 50:16. They're following scriptures. Y'all aren't. And there was no bread in all the land, for the famine was very sore. We're headed that way, weeks away. So that the land of Egypt and all the land of Canaan fainted by reason of the famine. This was phase 1 right here. This was complete almost 2 decades ago. And Joseph gathered up all the money that was found in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan for the corn which they bought. Phase 2. And Joseph brought the money into Pharaoh's house. Phase 3. And when money failed in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan, all the Egyptians came unto Joseph and said, Give us bread, for why should we die in thy presence? For the money faileth. And Joseph said, phase 4, Give your cattle, and I will give you for your cattle if money failed. Well, he already knew money failed because he was the reason it failed. And they brought their cattle unto Joseph, which was stupid. And Joseph gave them bread, and I guarantee it wasn't even a fair exchange, in exchange for horses and for the flocks and for the cattle of the herds and for the asses. And he fed them with bread for all their cattle for that year. When that year was ended, they came unto him the second year and said unto him, We will not hide it from my Lord how that our money is spent. No, they phased it out. My Lord also hath our herds of cattle. There is not aught left in the sight of my Lord, but our bodies and our lands. Wherefore shall we die before thine eyes, both we and our land? Buy us and our land for bread, and we and our land will be servants unto Pharaoh, and give us seed that we may live and not die, that the land be not desolate. That's Genesis chapter 47, verses 13 through 19. See, they started it with this cryptocurrency, the Bitcoin and all the other ones. Bitcoin, I just said it because it's the more popular one that everybody's familiar with. That was the beginning right there to get that shit going so well that they can start slowly but surely phasing out cash out of the money supply before it's too late. And they're already behind, and I'm afraid for them it is too late because they should have been phased all this cash out. And I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, but we'll pick up on that later on. But yeah, that's what they've been doing. For slowly but surely phasing out cash, getting you to get some sort of card for every transaction, and blah blah. They want to be able to keep track of it. They want to know what every brown penny you come in possession of. They want to know where it came from, who it came from, what time, everything. And they want to know how it moved from one financial institution to the next until it ended up either in your hands at an ATM machine or paying a bill to somebody else. They want to know everything. So, but in order to do that, they had to slowly but surely phase out the main money supply to the point where the money would have virtually no value. Then the people get to complaining, hey, okay, well, give me, your tangible assets, all the guns and ammo that you've been buying, and beans and rice and silver and gold and all that there. Yeah, you bring all that on up in here, and we'll work it out. We'll give you a fair exchange, for your tangible assets, which is a fucking lie, but it is what it is. So that's where we are now. Now I'm gonna show you how they're ramping this shit up. Next, we're going to Nehemiah chapter 5. I'll give you the precepts when I get there. And there was a great cry of the people and of their wives against their brethren, the Jews. The Jews, yeah, the people that own and run the Federal Reserve and, all these other international conglomeration of rich bankers and all them. Yeah, them. Some also, there were that said, we have mortgaged our lands, vineyards, and houses that we might buy corn because of the dearth or famine. There were also that said, we have borrowed money for the king's tribute, just to pay taxes, and that upon our lands and vineyards. Yet now our flesh is as the flesh of our brethren, our children as their children. And lo, we bring into bondage our sons and our daughters to be servants. And some of our daughters are brought unto bondage already. Neither is it in our power to redeem them, for other men have our lands and vineyards. That's Nehemiah chapter 5, verses 1 and verses 3 through 5. That's where they're wrapping up that phase right now. Ever since 2020 and all that rigmarole, a lot of y'all start running up these credit cards and taking out second and third and possibly fourth mortgages on your homes and doing everything, just, trying to live like the Joneses instead of thinking ahead. Okay, we're ahead now. What contingency plan do you have outside of this fiasco? Now your kids are going to be brought under bondage to the debt that you created. It don't just go away. No, it becomes generational. While they create and produce generational wealth, all the rest of you people incur generational curses. All right, let's switch up. Now, this is who's going to be affected specifically as a consequence of all this stuff going on. I give you the precept when I get there. This is Isaiah chapter 32. This is the main target right here that's going to be, just utterly affected. Rise up, ye women that are at ease, hear my voice. Ye careless daughters, give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall you be troubled. Once this shit start happening, it's going to take several generations for it to all balance out. Ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. And I just showed you why. Earlier on, the vintage is, like all your fall crops and everything, your harvest coming in. There ain't going to be too much of none of that. I just showed you why. So everybody that's depending on that, hopelessly dependent on that, You're in for a rude awakening. And here's your confirmation right here. Many days and years shall you be troubled, you careless women. And you women living on this public assistance, the majority of you are careless. For the vengeance shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Tremble, ye women that are at ease. Oh yeah, y'all laying up just, Pookie and Ray and that all day and night long. Be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. They shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine. It's Isaiah chapter 32, verses 9 through 12. They can weep all they want. It ain't gonna help the situation. All right, let's move on. You're starting to build the case on y'all ass. This one's coming from Isaiah chapter 47. I give it to you when I get down there. And thou sayest, the same woman, this, public assistance queen. Oh, we're gonna go in a little deeper because it's written. See, this information has to be put out there so as it begins to happen, the scales of justice will perfectly balance out. And thou sayest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it. Therefore hear this now, or therefore hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly. Damn. That sayest in thine heart, I am, and none else besides me. Yep, that's about the size of it. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. But these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day. Now you go back to my playlist. I just came back on here doing videos, okay? You go through my playlist and you decide what event or types of events could cause such pandemonium in this country in a moment, in one day. The loss of children and widowhood, they shall come upon thee in their perfection for the multitude of thy sorceries and for the great abundance of thine enchantments. Yep, he turned y'all asses up for all this witchcraft and hoodoo and voodoo and Santeria and Shango and all this other stuff. Yep, it's ass whooping time now. Verse 10, for thou hast trusted in thine wickedness. Thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee. And thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else besides me. Therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it riseth. And mischief shall fall upon thee, thou shalt not be able to put it off. And desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. That's Isaiah chapter 47, verses 7 through 11. 7-11. All right, let's dig in. Now, as all this drama is starting to reach a crescendo, this supernatural event's going to happen. And you don't hear none of these people that claim they're into the prophecies and this, you don't never hear them touch this. I ain't saying they ain't never did it. You just don't hear it enough to give it any credit. This supernatural event, while all that's reaching a crescendo, is going to eventually happen. And that's going to tip the scales right there. 2 Ezra chapter 6, verse 22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. Man, this ties in with Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 16. The full storehouses or warehouses shall suddenly be found empty. Oh, that'll get it popping right there. All these roving gangs and all these people done got together and yeah, we're gonna do this, that, the other, and bust up in these places and ain't nothing in there. Let's look at Leviticus chapter 26, verse 26. Let's look at the demographics of family dynamics in this particular context on how all this, is what effects it's gonna have. Leviticus 26, 26. And when I have broken the staff of your bread, 10 women shall bake your bread in one oven, and they shall deliver you your bread again by weight. And ye shall eat and not be satisfied. That's Leviticus 26, 26. Did we just talk about this? And here it is, how this is going to despairingly have a more greater effect on women. No, I'm not picking on y'all. I'm just showing you what the truth is that nobody else will show you. So that if you could get over the, being triggered and being in your feelings and all this other useless horse shit, and take this information for face value and start applying it in areas where you can apply it and try to improve and do better, when this shit really start popping, you can avert a lot of the karma that's due to you. But I mean, you grown, you do what you want to do. So yeah, it's going to get to the point to where family dynamics are going to be something similar to this right here. Look at this. Lamentations chapter 4, verses 4 through 5. The tongue of the sucking child cleaveth to the roof of his mouth for thirst. The young children ask bread, and no man breaketh it unto them. They that did feed delicately are desolate in the streets. They that were brought up in scarlet embrace dung hills or shit hills. That's Lamentations chapter 4, verses 4 through 5. Yeah, y'all was, going around flossing and bossing this public assistance, and I'm strong and independent, and I don't need no man, and I can do all bad by myself, and I'm living my best life and all this other bullshit. Yeah, this is where it's headed right here, by design. Ain't nobody gonna have no bread to give you or your kids. And the baby daddies are gonna be missing in action. You can count on that. How do I know? Because they're missing in action now. All right. Look at Lamentations chapter 5, verse 9. This is what y'all gonna have to do just to get food to eat and safe drinking water or whatever when these times finally come into their fruition in this country this year. We get our bread with the peril of our lives, the very danger of our lives because of the sword of the wilderness. That's Lamentations chapter 5, verse 9. So the days of using this fake monopoly money to go do whatever you want, that's coming to a conclusion. Especially here. Other places are still going to be around to fully make the transition, but this place, it's a wrap. Okay? That's why I'm showing you. See, we're going to be fast forwarded into all these judgments. We ain't got to worry about like I said, the RFID chip and all that. No. That ain't going to be none of that here. This is our immediate future right here, what I'm showing you. We've already surpassed all that other shit. That's about as much as we're going to experience of all that. This is what we need to focus on now. Okay, now the feds are threatening, and I'm putting it out there in that terminology, to lower interest rates right now during times such as these. Well, it's going to have multiple effects on the economy when they do that. Here's an interesting one right here as we switch gears. 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 21. Behold, victuals or consumer goods shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. This is what's going to happen initially when they drop interest rates right here. Right here. 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 21. And it ain't going to take long at all from it to go from the highlighted area to the area below it. Days, weeks, tops. It's going to go from the highlighted in red, and it's going to quickly transition over to the bottom. Right there. All right, let's move on. Let's look at 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 3. Now, this is going to parallel what we just read. For when they shall say peace and safety, oh, they're going to drop interest rates. Yeah, they're looking out for the little guy. Finally, we can, lift our heads back above water. Okay. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden, did we just cover this? Sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. That's 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 3. Y'all been set up, man, with this money shit. Look at the video I did in These Guys We Trust. Y'all been set up big time. Oh, and here's the last precept right here. So what if he's gonna lower interest rates? It's a facade, man. And I just explained to you what it was all about. Let's finish this up with Ecclesiasticus chapter 14, verse 7. And if he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly, and at the last he will declare his wickedness. That's Ecclesiasticus chapter 14, verse 7. So y'all be on standby for that. Okay? And it's gonna happen in various ways. And just because you think you escape this way or that or this or that, there's other ways that you haven't considered. They're gonna come right on around there where you at. All right, so y'all get ready, because y'all ass fitting go through some things. All right, deuces.